Alright, hello everyone. It's time for another first-person gameplay commentary from Spawnbroker. This game I'm going to be talking about Shadow Demon. He's one of my favorite support heroes in the game. He's also great at ganking. So he's really good. He's really good at mid. He's really good at side lane support, and he's generally just very good in team fighting as well. So without further ado, let's go over his abilities. First is Disruption. It puts the targeted unit in a bubble, basically, and that bubble lasts 2.5 seconds, and then they come back, and there are two illusions that spawn under your control that will attack them, and you can control the illusions. And then Soul Catcher is his second ability. It is in a very wide area, and it causes a random enemy in the area to take increased damage, and the bonus damage increases based on your level. Then you have Shadow Poison, which is a very long range damage over time that you can stack on the enemies, and then when you have when you have enough stacks, or whenever you want to release the poison, you can do all the damage at once, and you use the D key for that. And then his ultimate is Demonic Purge. It will slow down the target enemy, and they will regain their movement speed slowly over the duration, and when the duration ends, it will deal a lot of damage to them. So this is really good because it removes all buffs from them as well, so that's another thing you can use it for. But it's mostly good for ganking and catching someone out of position. So without further ado, I'll just start the game. I did random this hero. I tend to random a lot, just because I like playing that way whenever it's all picked. So let's get started. Okay. So I pick up Disruption as my first ability. I buy the Courier because my team is mostly carries, and it's my job anyways. And Marana said she wanted mid. So that's the idea. And here I'm kind of like, what do I buy? Juggernaut going a bit crazy there. And the final pick is a Nature's Prophet. Can't say I like this pick very much, but whatever. Kind of messed up what we were going to do with our lanes. But that's okay. So initial item choice. I end up buying the Courier and some wards because I'm going hardcore support this game. So there are two builds that you can do on Shadow Demon. The first build is when you're going solo mid. And when you're going solo mid, you want to do a gank-centric build. So you always pick up Disruption at level 1. And if you're mid, you max Shadow Poison first, because it's really good for ganking, it's really good for harassment in the lane. If you're a side lane support, you max Soul Catcher first, because it's better for supporting, it's better for team fighting, and that kind of stuff. So the item build for the mid item build is basically Phase Boots into a Drum of Endurance. That's because you're really good at ganking, and that's meant to make you better at ganking. The side lane build is Arcane Boots into a Mechanism. So as you can see, there's no Mechanism carrier on my team besides me. So that's why I am going to be going the support build. I'm also going in the side lane. Here I'm warding the creep camp just so they can't do anything. And then I notice them there and I'm like, oh crap! Dazzle got the slow at level 1, which is pretty bad. So I was pretty happy that I saw that on him. Maxing poison first on Dazzle is just not good, guys. Don't do it. Trust me. There's Sven wastes his stun. Pretty cool. Off to a good start. So here, this is kind of funny. I was not expecting this Dazzle to try and harass me with his poison in lane, but that looks to be exactly what he's trying to do. So we're gonna see how effective that is, and it's I was laughing because it's not terribly effective. So right now we're not doing too hot. We're just kind of getting bullied around because they're a double range lane. But then Dazzle gets a bit out of position. I throw down some more hits on him, and they start chasing me around. I'm just like, whatever. Yeah, you're making me burn my regen, but it's not a huge win for them. In fact, yeah, it's not really helping them very much. So here, I'm just kind of hanging out, trying to get some denies, letting Dazzle throw his poison on me as much as he wants. I don't really care. Level 2, I pick up Soul Catcher. Here, I'm perfectly happy to trade some hits with Dazzle. I throw a Soul Catcher down just in case Sven wanted to get aggressive. And, you know, we're just sort of hanging out. So the reason I got a Ring of Protection first is because I noticed Sven's item build, he didn't have a Ring of Protection, so he wasn't going Basilius. He's going for Urn. So I'm getting a Basilius, because it's usually just a good idea to have a Basilius. It's really good mana regen. The Basilius's mana regen is the best in the game for how cheap the item is. An additional 0.65 mana per second is more than a Void Stone, because Void Stone does percentage-based mana regen. Basilius is flat mana regen, and lower levels your int is very low, so the percentage-based mana regen is not going to be better. Here's me just trying to get some more harassment, some more. Here I aggro the creep wave to get it to move closer to us. And I almost have my Basilius, so I pick that up. I make sure to turn the aura off. If it's glowy, it is off. Or sorry, if the ring is glowing and it looks like, you know, stuff is coming out of it, then the aura is on. You want to turn it off as soon as you get it. So this Dazzle is really aggressive. So here Sven is like, I've had enough of this shit. And there we go.
First blood is a knight's great honor.
That Dazzle was way too aggressive. He should not have been doing that because, you know, we have a double stun lane. I mean, Shadow Demon isn't exactly a stunner, but he can disable. If I wanted to, I could have disabled the Morphling while we dealt with Dazzle, but I didn't want to. So here he's doing it again, which is, you know, funny. And, you know, I'm just trying to get some last hits while Dazzle is not harassing me. And my wards are making sure they can't pull the lane, so they can't be safe. And the lane gets pushed up to our tower. So if you'll notice, I am trying to give Sven most of the last hits. I pick up a level of Shadow Poison at level 4, just because there's really no point in getting more points in Disruption until you've maxed out your other two skills, because all that will do for you, putting extra points into Disruption won't help you very much. It just makes your illusions harder to kill and do more damage. Here he throws down another stun, so I'm like, alright, we're going. So what I did good there is I threw down another Shadow Poison on Dazzle, and then I Soul Catchered him, and I disrupted myself so Morphling couldn't kill me, because Morphling was trying to burst me down before we could kill Dazzle. So that's the good thing about Disruption. It can be used both offensively in order to get rid of an enemy hero or take them out of the action, or it can be used defensively. Also, I could have disrupted Morphling there. That was probably a mistake. I probably should have disrupted Morphling instead of myself, but it was more of a panic thing. You know, I saw myself getting really low, and I was like, crap. So here I buy some boots. I would have loved to buy a teleport scroll to be back in lane, but I really wanted my boots pretty quickly. So probably a mistake by me, but I'm not really getting last hits in the lane anyways. So Juggernaut gets a double kill down in the bottom lane. Awesome. So I'm gonna run slowly back to the lane. Kinda sad. So the thing about Soul Catcher that you need to know, it has a very large radius, like I said, and, when I first described the skill, but it only affects a random enemy inside the radius. So you either need to have a hero alone around no creeps when you use it, or you need to somehow catch the hero in the range of it. You know, like, activate the ability. Here, let me use my mouse for a second. Like, activate the ability, and... Whoa, that's weird. We're gonna do free camera for a second. Or, so you know, Soul Catcher. Or, like, activate the ability, say the hero is here, have the Soul Catcher being, like, all the way around there, you know? Like, away from the creeps, but have the hero just barely in the range. That's one way to use Soul Catcher effectively. So, sorry about that. I'm gonna turn back to my player perspective. Shadow Demon. There we go. So here, Sven went to gank the other lanes. So I was kind of just soloing up top, which, you know, Shadow Demon can do fine. I wasn't going to get very much gold, but I can still soak up experience while he's up here. So here, Sven decides to come gank. And I'm trying not to let them know. So Sven decides he doesn't want to. But I disrupt the Morphling anyways. I throw down a Soul Catcher on the Morphling. And he stuns Dazzle. And then Dazzle gets off a Shallow Grave on himself. And we kill him. I end up super low. And I was kind of worried Morphling was going to kill me. But Mirana comes to help, and Mirana is now in trouble. So we're like, ah, crap, we got to go help Mirana. There was a really cool Disruptor. So Disruptor sent Mirana back under the tower, and then she leapt back towards us. So that was really good by Mirana. Sven used an Urn Charge to heal me back up. Pretty cool. Very nice. And here, there's a Mirana illusion that the Morphling made. I get harassed a bit from Disruptor, and I believe there's 3 or 4 heroes up there. And Mirana's like, yeah, I'm out, guys. So she leaves. I pick up my ultimate. Very good skill. And I pick up a wand and some wards. Because as the support player, it is my job to get wards. I know supports everywhere are crying when I say this, but it is your job, guys. Your money is better spent on wards than anything else. Sorry to say. So there's me just putting down some aggressive Shadow Poison stacks. Shadow Poison's a decently spammable ability. A pretty nice one, actually, so you don't really have to worry too much about your mana. So this is a mistake by them. There's 3 heroes top, and they're not pushing very hard. That's a big mistake. That's just giving us an advantage while they do that. So, my trusty Mountain Yak. So I finish my wand, and I decide I'm going to go ward a bit, or maybe not. Who knows? I'm crazy. Okay, I'm finally going to ward. Because our wards had expired, and I, was trying to be a good team player. So there we go, 1 ward up there. And now I heard that Dazzle was poisoning Sven, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta go help Sven. And then I noticed Nature's Prophet used his ultimate, and that took Dazzle really low, so I was trying to get a kill, but Dazzle backed off. So back to laning. So at this point, Sven or I could probably go gank, because one of us could just hold the lane.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh. Dazzle got a bit out of position, so what I did is I disrupted him, and then soul catched him, and then I ran out of mana, I believe. And Mirana came, and they finished off the Morphling. Good job. So the good thing about Disruption is all of your abilities still work on enemies while they're disrupted. So you can disrupt someone, and then soul catch them, and then shadow poison them while they're disrupted, and all of that will stack on them.
Dire's top tower
It's very
is under
nice.
attack.
Even though you can't target them with anything, and they are out of the game, anything that doesn't target, you can still hit them with.
Structures are fortified.
Pretty cool.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So here we're pushing the top tower,
Radiant's bottom tower
and there's
is
someone
under
porting
attack.
in, so we're like, that's stupid.
Dire's
Mirana
middle
arrow
tower
hits,
is under
and
attack.
I disrupt Sven accidentally. Misclick of the century. it's not a proper Shadow Demon game unless you accidentally disrupt one of your teammates in the wrong time, guys. That's just something to keep in mind. You haven't played Shadow Demon properly unless you've disrupted your teammate accidentally and almost failed a gank because of it. So just keep that in mind. All part of the plan. This was me apologizing to Sven, being like, "I'm sorry, dude. That sucked."
Illusion.
So here, I'm just kind of wandering around. We can't really farm top lane anymore, so now we're just going to start pushing because we have a decent advantage. We have 6 kills up on the enemy team. So we're just going to start pushing lanes at random because we can. We see Disruptor, we back off a bit.
Thanks.
So here I have enough gold for another pretty big item, so I'm like, what do I want to get? I don't know. Here, both of us place a ward at the same time. Pretty funny. If any of my teammates had been near me, I would have disrupted him. But nobody was in position. So here I'm kind of like, maybe I can get a gank off on Broodmother. Oh no, nobody has... I realize, I look at everyone's items and I realize nobody has invis detection. So, kind of sucks. Nothing we can really do. We can just, you know, we can try and do stuff, but he's just going to go invisible. There, I finished my arcane boots. And I'm like, let's push.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So that's one way you can just negate Broodmother's presence, is just take your entire team and push past him. Because, like, what's he going to do to us?
Dire's bottom tower
Not
has
much.
fallen.
And there they notice Dazzle is out of position, so perfect Mirana arrow. And he takes the fall.
Another put down.
So here I'm pinging mid because I'm like, let's push mid, guys. We have a huge advantage. There's no reason not to, and they will win.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They might be able to win late game, and they might be able to pull this out. But you know, whenever you have the advantage, it's best just to push. Don't think about it. Just, you know, push lanes down. What are they going to do to us? We have an 11-4 advantage. We have,
Radiant's top tower
you know,
is under
a pretty farmed Juggernaut. So here I get the Brewmaster, and I force him to pop his ultimate, and he decides to run away, which is kind of weird. I guess he had no teammates near him or something, but usually you see a Brewmaster go aggressive when he pops his ultimate. And there, I was positive that Disruptor was an illusion, so I wasn't using any of my abilities on him, but apparently not. That was kind of weird. So here, I start looking at a mechanism, and I have almost enough for a buckler, which is going to make me insanely tanky. 5 armor is nothing to sneeze at, guys. That's quite a bit of damage reduction. So I'm saving up for the buckler, and here I'm just farming some mid because there seems to be no pushing going on my team right now, and it's usually a good idea to farm when you have the opportunity. So. As you can see, Shadow Demon's base damage is very high for an intelligence hero. It's because his int gain is pretty good. So that's why phase boots into drum is very good on him in the mid game. He's a pretty decent mid game support. And so here I grabbed a buckler, another TP scroll, and some dust because they have a Broodmother, and I want to be able to reveal the Broodmother whenever we push down a lane or, you know, get a gank off. Okay, so here we're ramping up for another push. There goes the Mirana arrow. Looks like we're going on this. I believe Juggernaut has dust, and he ends up dusting, and I'm trying to make sure I don't misclick on a spider. I get the disruption down on the Broodmother, and then I do a soul catcher, and then I use my ultimate to make sure he doesn't get away, and he takes the fall.
It was not luck, but skill.
So there you go. That's how to gank an individual hero with Shadow Demon. You disrupt into a soul catcher, and then you use your ultimate and you're stacking Shadow Poison this entire time while right-clicking. So that's really good. And the Juggernaut's like, yeah, whatever. I'll just use that. Another Mirana arrow. Unfortunately, hits a Spiderling. So here I'm kind of worried about Mirana, so I disrupt the Brewmaster to let her get away. So that might have been a mistake by me, but I was really worried the Mirana was going to die. So, no big deal. I almost ulted that. I probably should have, because now there's a huge dive coming from Juggernaut. I'd say this is a mistake. You really don't want to dive this hard, but Mirana gets a good arrow off. I disrupt Soul Catcher into Shadow Poison, and then ult. And that's another dead Broodmother. So that's Shadow Demon's combo. That's kind of what you want to be doing whenever you see a hero out of position. He's really good at punishing the enemy team when they make a mistake. So here I pick up a headdress, about 800 away from my mech. So this is going to be about an on-time mech. So not too bad. A miss by Mirana on the arrow. That's okay. We're just pushing the tower. We don't necessarily want to get a to catch someone because we don't want to dive too hard. Juggernaut in a bit of trouble. So I disrupt the Brewmaster again, just to let him get away, and then I back off. So this entire time, that was only 3 of us. That was just the 3 of us. Sven and Nature's Prophet were kind of just having the free reign of the map, doing other things like farming and pushing lanes. So that was good. If we'd had all 5 of our teammates there, we probably would have gotten the tower. Mirana throwing down another arrow, trying to make something happen. But I'm like, no, Mirana!
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So I don't really know where the rest of our team was, but this just the 3 of us is doing so much damage to their team. It's kind of weird that just 3 people were able to push down so many towers by themselves. Especially with the Nature's Prophet in the game. Like, you would think the Nature's Prophet would be split pushing while this is happening. But I didn't see too much of that from him. Mostly just farming.
Dire's bottom tower is under
So here we're going to work on this tower. And for some reason, no TP support and nobody defends from the enemy team. Kind of weird. Don't do this, guys. Don't let the enemies just get free towers. That's a huge advantage for their team. It's 250 gold to everybody. Towers are a pretty big source of gold advantage, so you definitely don't want you definitely don't want to give people free towers. So here I was trying to bring myself a mech, but someone had filled up the courier with useless items, and the headdress for some reason did not get put on the courier. Awesome. So there I was kind of confused because I'm like, where's my mech? And here, we're just like, why don't we just take a Roshan? Because the enemies don't have any wards up. Neither do we, for that matter, because I was trying to get my mech. But the enemies don't have any wards on it, and we could probably kill them in a team fight anyways. So, free Roshan, yay. If you're wondering why I'm not casting any spells on him, it's because we were trying to be sneaky. I didn't want to let people know. And if I start stacking Shadow Poison on Roshan, people are going to see it coming out of the top of the pit. So that's kind of something to worry about. Finally, I get my mech. Awesome. Pretty cool. Rearrange my items. And so here, we're just going to take a romp in their woods, and we're going to try and push down this last tower, and then get into their base, because there's no reason not to. Like I said, we have a huge advantage. As long as you continue to have such an advantage, there's no reason that you shouldn't be pushing like this.
Dire's top tower
So here the tower's aggroed on me, so I attack click a creep again. We get caught in a disruptor ultimate. I disrupt the panda to make him force him to ult. And then he doesn't go on me for some reason. If I were him, I would have just started attacking me. And so here I notice the spider's out of position, so I dust her, and then I ult on her so she can't get away. And there we go. Brewmaster is now back in his main form, so I throw another disruption on him to try and save Sven, but I don't. And I'm still trying to stack Shadow Poison on people, but they all ran away because Juggernaut killed them all. And here we're just going to push the tower down. Is that a Shadow Blade on Juggernaut? I think it is.
Dire's bottom tower
Kinda funny.
is under attack.
Definitely a pub item. Not something I would recommend on Juggernaut.
Has fallen. Dire's bottom
So here we're going to get a
tower has
Rax,
fallen.
and Mirana is working on the bottom Rax as well. So some good split pushing action going on.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
I pick up some wards for my team just in case this game goes on any longer. And here I was trying to make my way down to the bottom of the base, but I was being retarded about it. So kind of funny. And here it's 3 versus 5, kind of a good time to leave. And here I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. So I disrupt myself, pop my wand, but it's not enough.
Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
And while this is happening, Mirana is pushing down the racks. And for some reason, she starts focusing the ranged barracks. No, Mirana, why? Why are you doing this? Why you gotta do this, Mirana?
Dire's bottom barracks are under
Always
Dire's
focus the
bottom
melee barracks, people. There are more melee creeps in every wave than ranged. But it didn't matter because she got both of them. So that was a double racks by my team. Pretty cool.
has fallen.
And I pick up I'm starting a Force Staff. Just because I need more items, and you know, that's just the next logical progression. Force Staff is very good on supports. And you know, it's all over but the crying now, so we're all gonna push down the mid. I think we still have the the Aegis got popped in the last fight, so here I'm just going to ward the Roshan pit because it's just a good area to ward. And we're all gonna meet up mid and finish the game. So I think this has done a pretty good job of showing how Shadow Demon is effective in team fights. And here I'm going up to ward their jungle. There we go. Mirana getting a kill on Disruptor, pretty cool.
Dire's middle tower is under
And I don't know where Juggernaut or Nature's Prophet are, but they're definitely not helping.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This poor Brewmaster. He wants to get a kill so badly. So there I get Ethereal Bladed by the Morphling after doing my combo on him. I pop my wand, I pop my mech, and now I'm like, well, I'm totally gonna die, but I'm going to juke him in the woods just to see if I live. He does his illusion on me, and I get out with one hit left. And I notice Brewmaster is going on Mirana, so I use my ultimate on him, stack Shadow Poison, do a Soul Catcher, and now he's really hurting. And I disrupt Mirana to make her live, and she gets out just in time, and I'm still stacking Shadow Poison, and we both live. Pretty awesome. And here I'm like, well, I'm pretty low. Time to go back. Morphling DCs.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I don't know why you would DC this close to the end of the game, unless it was
Dire's
accidental.
middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Super Farm Furion decides to join the fight. Awesome. Yeah. Such a helpful teammate.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
And
Dire's
here,
middle barracks has fallen.
I hate it when people do this.
Now
When
have
people
mega creeps.
say in all chat like easy or, you know, easy game or just whatever, like, especially
Dire's
when you're
middle
winning,
tower
like,
is under attack.
there's no reason to do that kind of stuff. There's no reason to, you know, dig the knife even deeper.
Dire's middle tower
They're already losing. They already feel pretty bad about it. You don't have to make them feel
Dire's
worse.
middle tower has fallen.
So, whatever.
Dire's ancient is under attack.
So anyways, that's the game. And I hope you guys enjoyed this Shadow Demon game. Please leave any comments and subscribe to my channel.
Dire's radiant
Like my videos. And yeah, so let me know how you like it. I'll leave the scoreboard up after the game. Maybe? Scoreboard? There we go. So, once again, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Show all the items. There we go. Okay. See you guys later.